Good, what is it, Wednesday evening, Southeast Texas. Hope you're doing well. We're going to take the next 15 minutes and take an in-depth look at your forecast. Beautiful day across the area. It has felt really nice with this dry air mass. Beautiful sunset here in Beaumont, through courtesy of Mid-County Plumbing and the Roofing 911 Skycam Network. Tomorrow will be different. We think there's going to be a lot more cloud cover as an approaching upper level disturbance brings that in. And again, it'll probably be a little more gray and even maybe a few sprinkles out there coming up tomorrow afternoon. And again, as we head on into Friday, but again, doesn't look like heavy stuff. We need significant rainfall. We just don't think we're going to see that. Okay, your allergy report, tree pollen is down today. Ragweed is back up. Grass pollen is down and mold is higher than it was yesterday. But again, the main culprit today is weed pollen, very high levels. And if you suffer from allergies, you probably know what I'm talking about. It's just that time of year. As far as your weather headlines, so clouds are going to be the, I won't say big story, but the big story over the next 24 hours. They'll be back in. And we could see some sprinkles coming up tomorrow on your Thursday and into your Friday. The best chance of rain is going to come in late Saturday and Saturday night before a cold front pushes through. And we'll get a quick, cooler, dry snap coming up Sunday afternoon and Monday. And then we're going to do it again as another potential front. I'm not sold on this second front coming in next Tuesday as we head on into early next week. It's a pretty quick pace. So this is the Euro, and it shows the front coming through, and I've toned it down because I don't believe we're going to see that much rain out of this. We'll go with a 30% coverage during the day on Saturday, a 50% coverage Saturday night, and I think by daybreak Sunday, the rains are going to be out of here. I'll keep a 20% coverage, but by noontime, I think we'll see plentiful sunshine as our winds swing around to the north, and this all moves off towards the east, and we ought to see some cool temperatures as we head on into Monday. Could be some 50s even here in the triangle. As long as this front pushes through, there is some modeling that shows it not pushing through. We'll see how this materializes, but right now, ensembles do bring this on into our areas. So I think we're in pretty good shape. You're looking at moisture levels. How much moisture do we have in the atmosphere? It takes moisture to create clouds. It takes moisture to create rain and thunderstorms. Moisture and rain are two different things. Atmospheric moisture, how much humidity do we have in the atmosphere? And as you can see, we're bone dry right now. Look at the track. We're all the way down. Very low amounts of moisture, hence lots of sun and no clouds. But as we head towards Thursday and Friday into Saturday, moisture levels come up and then they go down and then they go up and then they go down. This is how your 7-day rain chances are going to mirror this because we think the best chance will be coming in Saturday late, Saturday night. Rain chances go away as we start to dry out the atmosphere. Monday looks pretty dry. Tuesday, a quick return in moisture, and that may give us some increase in cloud cover, even maybe some light showers Tuesday. But again, we'll talk about that in just a second. Otherwise, you're now looking at the vertical profile, not up and down, okay? So we go from the surface, here's the ground, bottom of these bars is the ground. As you go up halfway, that's 5,000 feet. Then you go up to 10,000 feet, okay? Hopefully you understand that. And as you can see, we are looking at limited amounts of moisture, low-level moisture coming up Thursday and Friday. Saturday is when we think this is going to really increase and then go down Sunday and back up and down. So again, I think it's going to be quicker than this, and Saturday will be the day that we see our best chance of showers, maybe a few thunderstorms. In your burn bans, nothing has changed across Southeast Texas as far as burn bans. Rapides Parish in Louisiana has issued a burn ban, so even in Southwest Louisiana, starting to see more in the way of burn bans across our region. But again, all of Southeast Texas under a burn ban. That hadn't changed. So tomorrow we expect more of a moist southeasterly flow off the Gulf. So instead of our winds being out of the northeast like they've been day after day after day after day the last week or so, they'll be coming off the Gulf. So that means higher humidities. So that will counteract the fire danger for tomorrow. It's still going to be moderate across the bulk of the area. and some spots could see a high fire threat. And this is mainly for outlying areas of southeast Texas, not so much the cities, but it could be in maybe some of the overpasses where there's grass leading up to the overpasses and grasses and things like that. The vegetation is basically dry, so we have plenty of fuel to create fires. You've got dry brush and grasses that could spark if somebody throws a cigarette out or something sparks. It could create fire. So right now, just be careful with fire, but I think it's going to be lower. The threat will be lower coming up tomorrow because of that increased moisture coming in off the Gulf. So let me show you. Day after day, the last week, we've seen minimum afternoon relative humidities in the 25%. Tomorrow will be closer to 45 to 50% as that flow becomes more southeasterly off the Gulf. So some good news to help counteract the fire threat across southeast Texas. Otherwise, the drought continues to worsen. As of today, we are now over 5 1/3 inches of rain below normal since September 1st. And for the year, we're down 9 inches. But again, this moderate drought, level 2, will be expanding tomorrow. We have not seen any rainfall, so I expect much more of the area. This is updated once a week by the Drought Monitor, and this will likely be most of the area, or a good portion of the area will likely go into moderate drought conditions coming up tomorrow with the latest update. So not the best of news. We need rainfall, and unfortunately, just not seeing a whole lot. Maybe a 1/4 of an inch through the next 7 days on average. Some areas may not see anything with this front. That's certainly the potential. And we're also hoping that this overperforms and we see 4 or 5 times this 1/4 inch. It'd be nice to get an inch or 2 in as far as rainfall over the next 7 days, but right now the average looks like a 1/4 of an inch or less, unfortunately. So tomorrow, I expect more in the way of gray coming up tomorrow afternoon with maybe a sprinkle here in the triangle. I'll go 86, and modeling shows pretty much the same story. We're not too far away from that as far as modeling, so we're in good agreement with that. I think it's doing a pretty good job. Tomorrow, I think it'll be a little bit warmer up in the lakes area. We'll go 88, and east and southeast winds fairly light. I don't think we'll see rain up in the lakes area. I think it's going to be a dry day across the lakes area, and sun, that is not going to happen. We're going to see clouds up in the lakes area tomorrow. You'll get probably partly cloudy skies, maybe partly sunny tomorrow afternoon, so I don't think the model's doing real well there. Otherwise, tonight we're looking at just a fantastic evening as the sun is setting, looking at clear skies, temperatures around 80 at least at the airports at the triangle, and into the mid-80s up in the lakes area in the Pro Roofing Concept satellite and radar loop. And one thing I want you to notice, look at the green coming back in off the Gulf. We have been stuck with this very dry air mass over our area for days on end. That's going to be changing tomorrow, and we're already seeing that moisture trying to come in off the Gulf, and that will continue to do that as we head towards tonight and tomorrow. And that may mean more in the way of cloud cover. Right now I don't see much out in the Gulf, but it may form as we head towards overnight. So just not a lot to show you right now. We've got high pressure in charge of our area's weather, moving away from Texas at this point, and water vapor's done a better job. So here's the deal. Can you make out Texas right there? That's Texas, Louisiana. High pressure has, remember it was over us yesterday? It's moved away. At the same time, we had a piece of energy, a trough over towards Florida. See Florida right there? Had a trough off the southeast coastline. Piece of that energy pinched off and has moved all the way across the Gulf. This is in the upper levels, all the way across the Gulf and into Mexico. So what's going to happen is that as we go through the next couple of days, this high will continue to weaken and move off to the south and east, and that will allow this low to come up and weaken as this high moves away into our area as we head towards Friday. So it's kind of a swirl, if you will. Anyway, that's what's going to happen. So disturbance will be moving up this way. So there's the high moving away from southeast Texas. So again, watch what happens as I put this into motion. We'll watch the high move away, and this trough, see the trough right there? That's going to kind of move on into our area as we head towards Thursday and Friday, maybe a little increase in moisture. So not a big chance, but I don't think I can go zero coming up Thursday and Friday. We'll go with the isolated sprinkles, if you will. So light stuff, not going to interfere with Friday night football or anything like that. Then we'll be watching a trough of low pressure move down from the north. And this trough of low pressure will drag a cold front. At least that's the way it looks right now. There's some potential that this trough could head off to the north and leave us with no front. That's a small chance, but right now ensemble modeling does bring this front through our area and then move off to the east as we work on into Sunday afternoon. Otherwise, weak high pressure off towards our west will ensure a northerly flow aloft, helping to push that front through our area. Otherwise, another trough of low pressure, you can see it that just moved through, may affect us as we work on in to say Tuesday of next week. So it's back-to-back troughs. So it's a rapid change in weather coming up between, say, Sunday morning and Tuesday across southeast Texas. In the tropics, we are watching nothing in the Gulf and in the Caribbean. Now, this time of year, we watch the Caribbean, not so much the Gulf, for any development. And we may see something around the 25th, 26th trying to develop, head over towards the eastern Gulf in Florida or over towards the Bahamas. We're done with it here in the Northwest Gulf. But it's interesting as far as climatology. So again, may see something try to develop, and this is pretty normal, around the 25th because ensemble modeling is showing that. So because, well, if it develops, if the system develops and heads, the further latitude it gains, the further north, it starts filling the westerlies. And so it's a guarantee that it's going to be turned off towards the east, over towards Florida or over towards the Bahamas. So just because you may see it on social media that, oh my goodness, we may have something develop in the Caribbean, we're done as far as the tropics go. Just too much shear. It's just that time of year. And Lorenzo, bye-bye. But again, piece of energy may head towards the west. It's fairly low as far as latitude, and it may make it into the Caribbean, and that's around the 25th or so that we may see some development. If it does happen, and I'm not convinced it will, it would head over in maybe the southeast Gulf, Florida, or over towards the Bahamas. And that's speculation on my part, but again, it's well-reviewed speculation. How about that? Otherwise, as we take a look at our forecast tonight, we may see an increase in cloud cover. We'll go with skies becoming partly cloudy. I still think we'll get down into the lower 60s, maybe the upper 50s in spots in the lakes, low to mid 60s in the triangle. Then for tomorrow, we'll go with partly cloudy to maybe partly sunny triangle. Look at that, maybe a few sprinkles, not a big deal, certainly no severe weather. I still think we'll get into the mid to upper 80s. Look at the clouds also increasing as we head towards tomorrow night. Otherwise, on the Gulf, we're looking at slightly choppy seas around 2 feet and an easterly wind at 10 to 15 knots, water temperature 84. High tide tomorrow around noontime. And let's see, we got, 2 weeks to go before the 2nd of November when we fall back 1 hour. The days are getting much shorter. We're not even at 7 p.m. anymore as far as sunset. Sunset now at 6:44 p.m. for tomorrow. So for tonight, we may become partly cloudy as temperatures drop maybe up towards Burkeville and Newton into the mid to upper 50s, maybe the upper 50s to around 60 up in the lakes, and should see low to mid 60s here in the triangle, Sabine Pass around 70. Then tomorrow, we'll go with a 10% coverage of some sprinkles. You saw it on modeling. I showed you that. I'm not making that up. So we'll go with a 10% coverage of some sprinkles here in the triangle. Otherwise, partly sunny skies here in the triangle, and then maybe partly cloudy up in the lakes area. High temperatures will be in the mid to upper 80s. Taking a look at your weather impact, 7-day forecast. Sprinkle possible on Friday, certainly not enough to interfere with